Guard Sector Mobile serves and protects the Gulf Coast from Mississippi to the bend of the Florida Panhandle. Captain Don Rose is its commanding officer.
Captain Rose wears several hats in his leadership position, from search and rescue to pollution response. He recently sat down with our Eric Reynolds to talk about the wide-ranging responsibilities of his job.
Captain Rose also shared how as a young teen he wanted no part of the service, but a visit to the Coast Guard Academy in New Haven, Connecticut changed his life forever.
Here's the interview.
I'm not in an office somewhere. I'm out in the field. I get to see Coast Guard men and women on the boats, on the ships, on watch. Incredibly impressed. And to get to work with them and lead them, boy, what a source of pride.
Captain Don Rose is commander of U.S. Coast Guard Sector Mobile. He leads 600 Coast Guard men and women who serve and protect the Gulf Coast from Mississippi to the Great Bend of the Florida Panhandle. Captain Rose was first impressed by the Coast Guard years ago in Missouri.
I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. Big river city, lived close to the Mississippi River. Coast Guard was a fairly large presence in St. Louis.
His older brother's appointment to the Coast Guard Academy in Connecticut gave Rose an even closer look.
I saw what he was going through and I said I want no part of that. But because it was a pretty rough time, my junior year, went up and took a look at the Coast Guard Academy. And I thought this could be a worthwhile service. The adventures that posed was pretty attractive. My first trip to Washington, D.C. was as a freshman at the Coast Guard Academy to march in Ronald Reagan's first inauguration. The cadet cruises I took, it took us to Europe. I rode on the crew team. It was a very demanding time, but I learned a lot of life lessons.
In the early 80s, all Academy cadets went to sea after graduation, a 2-year assignment on board a ship.
I chose a buoy tender in Charleston, South Carolina. I enjoyed coastal piloting, navigation in the harbors and the ports, law enforcement and search and rescue and pollution response. And you got a chance to drive, which was a lot of fun. We seized a vessel smuggling marijuana into the United States. A lot of experience, a lot of responsibility early on.
Later assignments took Rose to another U.S. coast, and before top brass.
I was a public affairs officer, and I was also the admiral's aide, and had 2 different admirals and 4 different chiefs of staff. You get a sense from that perspective of the importance of what we do. Second in command on a buoy tender in San Francisco, the Black Hawk. We sailed from Portland, Oregon down to San Diego, and a chance to grasp the beauty of the United States and protecting wildlife out there.
The Coast Guard sent Rose to law school.
Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. Had some great professors, including Ken Feinberg.
There's no substitute, I must say, for coming down here and meeting face-to-face with real people.
Of the oil spill fame, and he was an outstanding law professor. It is a great reminder to us of the risks of the industry that we have in the Gulf of Mexico. It is an important part of modern society, the flow of oil. We move so much of it around that hazard is always constantly there. Intend to infuse a spirit of enthusiasm.
Captain Rose took command of Sector Mobile just weeks after the BP spill began in April 2010. 3 years now after the crisis, he believes lessons were learned.
BP and the other industries involved stepped up to the plate in large measure. Some may disagree that they didn't do enough, and that's certainly arguable. But the respect that we've developed for the industry's diligence to resolving that problem has been important. There are 10,000 workers in the Gulf of Mexico running rigs to provide that lifeblood of oil to this nation. Our eyes are wider open. A lot of lessons have been applied now to how we look at the offshore industry.
Pollution response is just one of the Coast Guard's Gulf Coast mission.
Law enforcement and search and rescue missions and hazardous material response mission to our regulation of the marine industry and the waterways, inspecting ships, licensing mariners, investigating accidents, controlling the movement of traffic for safety and security purposes. We do a lot of preparation before every hurricane season. June 1st, we all go to a higher status. We have to be focused because storms don't give you a lot of notice.
The daily mission is full of challenges, but Captain Rose says it's most difficult calling off a search and rescue operation.
To communicate it to that person's family is probably the most difficult part of the job, I think, because you don't have closure for that person, and the sea is a very mysterious, intimidating, difficult force that most folks really can't come to grips with in the context of a conversation after their loved ones gone missing.
After 29 years of service, Captain Rose is facing retirement with no regrets.
The experiences were extraordinary. I don't regret the decision, but it did take a St. Louis boy and let him see the world.
In Mobile, Eric Reynolds, Fox 10 News.
Captain Rose says he enjoyed some incredible relationships with many of his classmates he initially met at the academy. He says they also helped shape his 30-year career.
Although retirement is just a few weeks away and his 3-year tour at Sector Mobile is ending, Captain Rose and his family have no plans to leave the area anytime soon. Coast Guard Sector Mobile's change of command ceremony is scheduled for July 24th at the Alabama Cruise Terminal.